Right, folks, so welcome along to the Gers TV. Just keeping busy during the epidemic, and we've got some interviews lined up. If you're looking for anything that we're doing, we're on Facebook and we're on YouTube, and there's weekly shows. Today's guest is Northern Ireland legend Roy Carroll. How you doing, Roy?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you keeping?
All good, all good. Well, as long as people are staying safe, that's the most important thing. What about yourself?
Yeah, it's been difficult, especially the situation what I'm doing now at the moment. My goalkeeping schools in Northern Ireland. It's just can't get out there and coach. So the difficult thing is trying to keep these kids active, especially through this coronavirus. It's very difficult to keep them active. So just doing a few things on Facebook to keep them prepared and mentally in the right way.
Aye. So tell us, just whilst you're mentioning that, tell us what exactly is it you're doing? Is it your own goalkeeping school you've got?
Yeah, I've had a bad injury there last year and decided to open a goalkeeping school for the young keepers in Northern Ireland because I just wanted to give something back to Northern Ireland keepers and decided to open a goalkeeping school. It's going really well. I have quite a few young keepers in it, but it's just now we're just sitting around doing difficult things at the moment. We're trying to do things over Facebook, but I'm really enjoying it. Don't know what the future is going to lay. Hopefully, we have a few young Northern Ireland keepers coming out of this country playing across the water in the next 4 or 5 years. Fingers crossed, if everything goes well. And
what kind of levels are for? Is it all age levels, or is it a certain age?
Yeah, but I've started off. I'm doing 9 to 12 for an hour coaching, and I'm doing 13 to 16. So 9 and 12 is all about enjoying the goalkeeping situation, learning them quick speed, fast feet, you name it, at a certain age. And then when you get this an older age, 13, 16, that's when the discipline starts coming in and start learning about the way the game is played. And it's very difficult now because there's so much what young keepers have to learn now, and you can't really learn them over a year. It takes a long time to teach these young keepers the right way in the game. If you haven't been a goalkeeper, it's very difficult to explain to you. But trust me, it's we have to be. A lot of teams now looking for keepers playing with their feet out from the back. When I was growing up, it was just how do you keep the ball out of the back of the net?
So change.
How far can you? Yeah, how far can you kick the ball up the pitch? So every year's changing. So coaches and keepers have to learn every year because there's new techniques and new stuff coming out every year. With goalkeeping decisions like playing out from the back, you can play now from goal kicks. You can kick the ball inside the 18-yard box. That's completely, you know what I mean? That's something new as well. So it's good. It's good for the future. I'm looking forward to it, and that's my next step for the future.
When you mention that, how did you adapt when see the pass back rule when you couldn't pick the ball? How did that affect you?
You get used to it. It's like anything, isn't it? You get used to it. It takes a while. It's like the 6-second rule as well. They changed that 6-second rule. It used to be a lot longer, and the referees used to pull you up straight away once they hit 6 seconds. But now it's a bit longer. It's a bit more relaxed. It's like every rule. Once a new rule comes out in football, it's probably the first 2 or 3 months when the referee's on top of it. But after a while, they get used to it and they just settle. They might just relax a little bit from the decisions because it's like that taking penalties. You couldn't even come off the line. I think you can. As a goalkeeper, you have to come forward to make the save. You can't just dive along the line. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of rules. FIFA's put a lot of rules out there now, and I think there's too many rules. To tell you the truth.
I think it's too many rules too soon apart.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. They do. There's someone there. Someone's getting paid to make these decisions, and he has to make up new rules every year. For me, I was talking about this before. The offside rule. I always say, if you're on the pitch, you're involved, you're offside, full stop. You know what I mean? Because it's defenders could be running out, shouting, everybody get out at the right time, and then the player standing behind him, the ball could play to somebody else, and then he's still offside, comes back onside, and he scores from it. It's just crazy situations where football's going.
If you're playing for a football team and you're basically no interfering with play, then what are you doing? You're doing nothing.
I know. I agree. But it's just, I think they want to score more goals. They've made the balls a lot lighter as well, so they want more goals in games. And I do understand that football's all about it being
more entertainment. Right?
Yeah, it's more about entertainment, scoring goals. But you can get good 0-0 games. I know it sounds stupid that, but you do get good 0-0 games. But a lot of fans just want goals, and And that's the situation of football. They just want goals. And when you're playing in the game, you're playing technical football, and it's really interesting how you can play from the back and holding the line and all that kind of stuff.
So obviously that's what you're doing just now. You're teaching the kids basically goalkeeping skills and things like that. You've got your own kind of academy. They say that to be a goalkeeper you have to be crazy. They're all saying. Who was your hero growing up? Who was your hero as a goalkeeper?
Yeah, when I was growing up, Big Pat Jennings from Northern Ireland, he was my hero. I was watching him on TV, watching old videos of him as well back in the day. But I used to watch my dad a lot. My dad used to play down over here in Northern Ireland, and he was a good keeper. He was a very good keeper, and I watched him, and I just fell in love with the game then. I was watching my dad, and that's what got me into goalkeeping, and I really enjoyed it. I'll tell you the truth, I really enjoyed getting dirty and coming home, and you're dirty and you're just diving all over the place, and that's what it was at that age. You love the game, and you love just diving all around the place. There was no technique back then in them days.
Yeah. So, and just tell us a wee bit about the beginning as a young boy, and how you got into football when you're kind of the early days.
Yeah, going back. Going back, like I was saying about when I turned 14, I basically started being a goalkeeper. I was in goals all the time because I couldn't get in the team before because I was quite small. So I might have been going in goals probably once every 4 games when I was younger. But when I turned 14, I just started growing really quickly. And then that's when I just started concentrating to be a goalkeeper when I was 14. Started playing for the men's team at 15 in a small village called 5 Mile Town over here in County Tyrone. And then I moved on to Ballymallard, which was a bigger club. And they were travelling all around Northern Ireland. And I was lucky enough to be playing in Belfast. I'm from in the countryside in County Fermanagh. And I was quite lucky to travel up to Belfast. We lost the game 5-1. I said it was 5-2, but some guy who was at Dundela, and he told me it was 5-1. So we lost 5-1. And I was sitting outside the changing rooms, and one of the players came up. He was a scout for Hull City. He was playing for Dundela. And I don't know if you know him. Alan Fettis used to play for Northern Ireland. It was his brother who scored. Yeah, it was his brother who scored a hat-trick against me that day. And he came up and says, "Would you like to go for a trial over in Hull City?" And I couldn't believe it because we lost 5-1. And I just said to him, "Go away, would you?" He's like, politely, nice and polite, as you do at 16 years old. And be fair, like, he did come back to me and says, "Roy, I'm being serious." And then about 2 weeks later, I went over to Hull City for a trial. And that's how I got across the water. That's how I got across the water. At 16, I was in the right place at the right time. So you need a bit of luck in the game as well. And the situation then, I never looked back. Had a week's trial over in Hull City. Came home for a month. Got a phone call and said, "We would like to sign you." And that was it. I went to Hull City at just turned 17. Went over to Hull City in October time. And been over there. I was over there since I've been across the water since 4 years ago before I came back home.
Aye, and with all due respect to the game in Northern Ireland, the English game's a lot probably quicker and it's far more advanced. How did you feel you adapted to it?
Yeah, but it was one of those situations. My life was always, I wanted to be a professional footballer. That was my dream, and I got the opportunity. The first couple of months, first 2 or 3 months, I was really, really homesick, especially coming from a small village outside Enniskillen. There's only probably 70 people living in it, 100 people, one shop in it. Everybody knows everybody. Go to Hull City, it was completely different. I was very homesick. I got over that after a few months, and things went really well for me at Hull. It was a club where young players do get chances because it was the old League 3 at the time. So it's League 2 now, you call it, but yeah. And back in them days, they give young players a chance if you're good enough, because we didn't have the quality in it back in them days for senior players, so they do give the young lads a chance to play. And I got my opportunity when I was 17 against Swindon, and it was some experience. It was a dream come through for me playing in the English League.
And from that, how did your career go in England? Was that probably the best times of your career?
What was that, sorry?
when you played in English football, was that probably the highlight of your career?
No, I had that was the start. Once you go to the first club, it's always the closest one to your heart, because you go over there as a young person. I met my wife from Hull. I was there for two seasons I was there for, and I moved on from Hull to go to Wigan, because, as I said before, Hull City was struggling at the time. They have to sell this top players, and the club was in really bad financial problems. So they put all the players up for sale. They sold me to Wigan. For a bit of money, and moved on. But I had a lot of highlights. You know what I mean? I could say, you know what I mean, playing for Manchester United is probably the biggest highlight, because you're playing the best team in the world. But Hull City, probably, I still have a soft spot from Hull City at the time.
Right, so tell us a wee bit about your time in Manchester United. I know you were on the bench with the Ibrox, is that right?
I was, yeah. It was good. Like playing, sitting on the bench against Rangers. I remember slagging Roy Keane off about don't be moving outside the central circle.
I heard a story, Roy. There was a story I heard. I don't know if it's true. I wanted to ask you this. That after the match, you were collecting when they swapped the shirts, you were trying to get some of the Rangers shirts for the boys back home.
I was. I've got a few friends back home who are big Rangers fans, including myself. But I was running around like a little spoiled kid trying to get all the Rangers tops. But it probably didn't look good when Ferguson saw me doing it, Sir Alex doing it. But I just done it. I just done it on the slide. But I knew a few players up there at the time, so I got a few tops. It was grateful of them there to get me a few tops. Especially big club. I supported Rangers for a long time, but it was nice to be sitting on the bench and watch, especially up in Ibrox. It's a great place to be. But I really enjoyed it that night. Yeah, it was good. It was good. The football was good. The noise was unbelievable. Both games. Man U was a massive club. You know what I mean? I was 23 when I moved to Manchester United. And I've said this story many a times to people. I think we had 3 weeks before we came into the pre-season. I signed the contract 3 weeks before I joined Manchester United, before we had to go into pre-season. And I couldn't sleep for 3 weeks because I didn't know what to say to these superstars like David Beckham. You're talking about Ryan Giggs, Roy Keane, and it's unbelievable. But be fair to them, they were dead on. They were just like made me feel welcome at the club. It was like a family club at the time. It was really, really good. I felt like I was there for years and years, how they treated me. And really enjoyed the 4 years there. Brilliant.
Aye. No, but one of the things that I always tell people on the channel, and it's probably probably shouldn't happen, but I don't watch a lot of English football. So I'm never going to kid people on it. I watch millions of it. So looking at some of your career, I watched the game the other day that we mentioned earlier on. Was the Spurs game, with that infamous Spurs when Pedro Mendes scores for almost a half-way line. What's your recollection of that?
I can't remember the goal. It's been that long ago. No, I'm really joking. Every time I do something like this, Q&As, it always pops up. So no, it's one of those situations when you're in a game and you're concentrating, and you're supposed to be concentrating the ball coming in your hands, and I was concentrating to throw the ball out to Gary Neville. So I took my eye off the ball hit my chest, hit my hands, and went over my left shoulder. I turned around and scooped it back before it went over the line, so it didn't go in. So I was quite lucky. I was very lucky. Just but
see when the referee says play on, what's going through your mind then at that point?
I'll tell you the truth, it was one of those situations that you carry on as long as until the referee blows a whistle or the linesman puts the flag up. People said to me I was cheating. Yes, but is it like, it's not my job to give the goal. I'm trying to keep the ball out the back of the net. The biggest thing was like you have over 70,000 fans there. If I turned around and said, I don't know what would happen like, but I don't think it was a
right thing.
Aye, but at the end of the day, it's on the books. Like the result was 0-0, so I was happy about a clean sheet. So it was happy, nice result for me.
Now, I believe you've never really met Mendes since then, but you were going to meet him in the friendly for Lee Rigby if that had took place, the one in the summer with Rangers.
Yeah, I think that was if that would have happened, I think he was going to be playing because I was definitely going to put myself down the play because I was looking forward to it. And
do you think he'd have been able to do that again, or do you think that was a one?
I don't know. I might have spoke to him, see if we could have done it again, and see if we could have pulled it off, and see if I could have caught it next time. It would have been nice to catch the ball next time if we try and do it again. But we might come and do that sometime again if we can speak to him.
Aye. No, but it'd be great. The two of you end up at Ibrox, you know what I mean? So it's a nice story. It's just one of these things in football when you see it.
Things happen in football. It's the way you bounce back from it. I always say, I show that video to most of the kids I train and stuff, and said to them, what do you have to do? What happened here? And most of them gets it, but I says, it's you concentrating until the ball goes in your hands. Every ball is hard, not an easy shot's a hard shot, you know what I mean? You have to concentrate no matter what. That's what it's all about. Concentrate till the final second and catch that ball and make sure that ball's in your hands before you do anything else.
No worries at all. I mean, it's one of these things. If it wasn't such a big game, people wouldn't talk about it. But it's like, was it live on TV? I take it that game.
No, but that's the problem. No, the thing is, you're playing for Manchester United, so if you do one mistake, it's a big thing. That is a big thing. What happened? But that's the problem being a goalkeeper. You could make. I could have made 5 saves in a game, and you make a mistake. All I can remember is the goal that you let in, and that's why goalkeepers have to have.
Of course,
they have to be mentally strong, or just have good confidence in themselves, because we get knocked down a lot.
Skin. Of course, you need the thick skin. Aye, so I've got a couple of questions for people that have asked me, people that watch the channel. So my pal Graham Hanna for the Shankill Road, which I'm sure you've heard of before, Northern Ireland, he's asked me a couple of questions. He'd asked me about the Pedro Mendes one night, but he's also asked me about the incident that took place between Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira at Highbury.
Yeah.
In the tunnel. I've no idea what happened there. What's the story?
Yeah, we were playing Arsenal away from home, and the rivalry was really, really big back in the beginning of 2000. It was between Manchester United and Arsenal at the time, who's fighting for the league. It was a big game for us, and something happened. Roy Keane was standing in front of me. Something happened in the back of the tunnel. Roy Keane went to the back of the tunnel, and just all started shouting with the Vieira and all that. And Roy Keane was just looking after his players, as he does. He's the captain of the team. He's the engine of the team.
Yeah.
And him and Vieira was coming down the tunnel, just shouting and screaming, like husband and wife, just fighting, coming down the tunnel. It was one of those situations. You just had to stand there, and I was just looking and wondering what was going on. And I said to Roy Keane just to calm down, get your mind on the game. And I'm thinking, why have I just said that to Roy Keane? I'm 20. I think I was 24 at the time, and I'm saying, why am I saying that to Roy Keane to calm down, get your mind on the game? But it was some game. Hey, I tell you, that game was unbelievable. We won that game 4-2 after that, and you had everything in it. You had everything in the game. But that tunnel it's probably the biggest thing still to talk about, because that was the passion.
Yeah,
the passion of football back in them days was amazing.
Aye, and obviously you mentioned earlier on about Sir Alex Ferguson. What was your experiences with him? How do you rate him?
Yeah, when I joined Manchester United, I was supposed to go to Leicester City, and it fell through in the last minute. It fell through. Peter Taylor rang me and said, "No, we're going for an experienced keeper." And I was upset. Of course, you're going to be upset. I was playing in League Two at the time, and I was looking forward to going to the Premier League with Leicester. And that fell through in the last minute. It happens in football. So I got a phone call from the agent the next day, and Sir Alex wanted me to come down and speak to him down in Carrington. Spoke to Sir Alex for over an hour and a half, and a typical man. He was just talking about my family life and how's the family and how's the kids and the wife, and talking about things outside football, and not just football, just outside football. And for me, I always say he's a father figure to me, because I moved there when I was 23 and I was still young. Yeah. I was learning the game, and I learned a lot from him. Trust me, I learned a lot from him as a man. And the way he dealt with superstars back in them days was amazing. And he treated everybody the same. Like, trust me though.
Touch with him?
Yeah, no, I don't. He came over to Northern Ireland. We have a guy over here, Pat McGibbon. He does mental awareness, and I help Pat out with all this. Try and help the mental awareness for people in Northern Ireland, because it's serious stuff. And so Alex came over. I think it was 3 years ago. So Alex came over, and I bumped into him, and we had a good talk. You didn't think, like, you thought, like, I seen him the day before, you know what I mean? Because I never seen the man for nearly 10 years, and we were just speaking like we just met the day before. And he's just a really good man. But I was going to say, he's the type of guy, if you get on the wrong side of him, you can see that you could get that hairdryer treatment quite easily. But
that's what I was going to ask you. Did you ever get the wrong side of him?
I thought I was going to get down the wrong side of him after after the Spurs game. So after the Tottenham game, after that goal that wasn't the goal, what people say, and it was the longest walk I ever did in my whole life coming off the pitch at Old Trafford. I think it took me about 10 minutes walking off that pitch. But once I got into the changing rooms, he said, "What were you doing?" And I said to him, "Boss, I took my eye off the ball. I wasn't concentrating catching. It was concentrating throwing the ball out to Gary Neville." And he said, "Be fair, good reaction, really good reaction to keep it out of the net." So I thought I was going to get the hairdryer treatment then.
So you're talking about your career with Man United. You were quite successful. You won 2 trophies. You won the league and the FA Cup. Is that right?
Yeah, we won the FA Cup and the league. I think we won the league in 2004. I came in. I remember the time when we won it. I think we had 4 games left, and Fabian Barthez was the keeper. And I came in for the last 3 games against. I think that the game was against Spurs, which I had to come into. So I was a bit nervous coming on because it was a massive game away against Spurs, and we ended up winning the game 1-0 by Ruud van Nistelrooy scoring the goal. And then we beat Charlton at home, and then I think Leeds beat Arsenal at Highbury, so we won the league the second last game of the season. So it was brilliant. So we went to Everton the last game of the season away from home, and we ended up winning that game. But we already won the league, so it was an amazing week coming up to the last game of the season, knowing you were Premier League winners, which was unbelievable. Looking back, if you're looking back when I was 15, 16 years old, I never thought I would have that achievement in my life. But dreams do come true, and it was a great experience for me.
I mean, and when you left Manchester United, the last game was an FA Cup final that you lost. Was that right?
Yeah, the year before, we played Millwall, and we won that. We won that FA Cup game that time, and so Alex put me on for the last 10 minutes, which I appreciate, because I played the semi-finals against Arsenal. We beat Arsenal 1-0, and we had about 4 or 5 games left in the league, and I knew I didn't play well enough to make the final. I knew that myself. I think most people know when they're not playing well. So Alex came to me about 2 days before the game at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. He says, "Roy, I'm going to play Tim Howard because I don't think you're ready for the game after the last 3 or 4 games of the season." And I agreed with him, because you know yourself. And he turned around and said, if we're winning the game by half time, 2 or 3-0, sorry, we put you on. But we never got the 3rd goal until the last 10 minutes. And be fair to him, he did put me on. It was amazing. Put me on, Mike. And I've never seen that before, you know what I mean? I've never seen that in football before. Manager putting a keeper on the last 10 minutes of the game. So, but my last game was against Arsenal again at the Millennium Stadium again, and we lost in penalties, and it was a horrible feeling. It was a horrible feeling because it was my last game at Manchester United. I moved on to West Ham then. So it wasn't the best. I wasn't the best person to hang around after the game, after our final.
And how was your time at West Ham?
Yeah, West Ham was it was difficult. Good, started off really well. I was playing, I was enjoying it, and I got a slight car crash before the season started, which I didn't pass any notice. I didn't think it was that bad. And then months and months later, I started getting really bad back pains, and the back pain started getting worse and worse, and I couldn't train during the week. So I was just getting injections in my back for the game on Saturday morning before the game, and playing the games on a Saturday. And things went really, really bad for me, and I couldn't carry on. So I went to see a specialist myself, and he said, "You're very lucky." He said, "You need to get an operation as quick as possible because you have a serious bad back." And got an operation on my back, and it took I think it was nearly 9 months until I recovered from it. Yeah, and it was dark days. It was very dark days for me. I wasn't never prepared for that length of injury before. I had slight injuries before, and it might have been out for a couple of weeks, but being out for that long, it really got to me, and I got very depressed over it, and got selfish myself. I just started drinking quite heavily, and that's what things changed for me for the next 3 or 4 years. It was difficult times for me. Once you get the depression, it's very hard to get back from, and it happened for quite a while. And for me personally, it's a hard one to take when you're anything professional sports person, because you're worried what people are thinking about, what people are thinking about you, instead of worrying about yourself and your family, because you have to be safer coming out and speaking about things. And that's what I never did. I kept it inside, and it was very difficult to take. And I talk about things now, and I try and help a lot of people, and trying to get them to come out and speak to people, because it's better out than in.
Yeah. And when you're saying that, so that would have been like the darkest days of your footballing career, when you kind of had the blues and you suffered the depression. Likewise, just now people are suffering from lockdown and things like that, and they've got mental health issues. We've spoken about it on the channel a few times. What kind of advice is that what you would say to speak to people?
Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes we've been locked in now nearly 5 weeks. It's been a long time. I still go out and get the shopping and stuff like that there, but still like things what you love doing, what you've been growing up to do, like coaching now. I love going out coaching, but now I've went through so much problems in my career, I can handle it more. But some days I'm still have to be active. Your brain has to be active. You have to keep doing things, keep your brain doing it. Read a book, go on your computer, sort things out. You coach, do your coaching sessions on the computer. Just keep your mind active, because if you just sit there and just think what's happening, you just drive yourself crazy. It's hard. I've been there. I know what it's like. I know what it's like not coming out and speaking to people. But trust me, it's the best thing you can do, coming out and speaking to people. But with this lockdown, all my advice is just go out for walks, go out for a bike ride, or if you can, for your exercises, because it's very important to keep yourself exercising and keep yourself very active, especially your brain. Keep your brain active. It's serious. Once your brain starts thinking bad thoughts, it's very hard to get out of.
And so would I be right in saying, I was looking at some of your career online, would I be right in saying that the worst part of your depression and alcoholism was when you was part of your career in Greece and Denmark when you moved abroad?
No, it was probably my last. I moved. I had a year left at West Ham, and Walter Smith was at Man U when I was at Manchester United at the time. So he asked me to come up the Rangers. Walter asked me to come up the Rangers, and of course I couldn't say no. I loved Rangers, but for me personally, I should never done that step, because it was a bad move for me. Moving up, I was still really bad with the drink. I was still very bad depression, and my family lived in London and I was living in Glasgow. So it was very hard, especially sitting in during the week, banging your head against the wall, drinking, and it was hard for me. How did you overcome it? Came over.
Yeah.
How did it overcome it? Okay, when I went to Rangers, went to Derby for 1.5 years. Then I moved to Denmark for 1.5 years, and then after being in Denmark, this is how long this was going on for. Not too many people know about it, but this is how long this was going on for. It was going on for nearly, what's that? You could be talking about 4 years. And I moved back from Denmark. I was separated from my wife because I was living away from home for nearly 4 years. I came back probably once in a while, once a month, maybe twice a month from Denmark to see the wife and kids. But I was living in Essex when I moved back, and I moved back in January because their season had a winter break. So I came back in January and said, I'm not going back. And I had no club for 9 months just because I was drinking heavily. Moved out of the family home and just woke up one day in an apartment, which I was renting off one of the ex-West Ham players. And I just woke up and something clicked inside my brain, just said, Roy, what are you doing? I looked in the mirror and said, what am I doing? And I didn't even recognize myself. And I just said, I'm going to end up dying here, end up killing myself, or I've lost my family already, you know what I mean? Because I've been living in apartments for the last 3 months by myself. And it was a bad way to be, but something just clicked inside my head to tell me, get get your act together. And I just stopped. I went back to my wife. I begged my wife to take me back, and it took a while for her to trust me again, because I kept saying to her before, I'd go off the drink, but I never did it. But for some reason, something inside my brain just told me to stop. And then a funny phone call from a guy from Greece, an agent.
Yep.
And he said to me, "Would you like to go to Greece, in Crete, an island in Crete?" And I said, "Yeah, we'll have a wee holiday, me and the wife and the kids, for a week, and see how things go." And I signed the contract out there for 2 years at Offi in Crete, and I moved then to Olympiacos after 6 months, because Olympiacos bought me from Crete. But it was hard. It was very hard. I went off the drink. I've been off the drink now for 9 years, coming up in June now. But out in Greece, it was difficult for the first 6-7 months, because I could have just turned and says, "Oh, I have another one. I'm all right now. Everything's fine." But no, I'm an alcoholic. I have to stay off the drink, and that's it. Full stop.
And so, you're involved with stuff you were saying in Northern Ireland now regarding mental health issues and things, mental awareness.
Yeah, I've tried and help out as much as I can. I went through, as I said before, went through bad things myself, and I know how people feel. A lot of people don't want to talk about their problems. I think the ones you have to look out for probably more is people like myself. When I used to come in training, joking and laughing and think, "Yeah, he's all right. Roy's a good lad. He's okay." You're more worried about, for me personally, I'm more worried about people who do that, because you don't know what's happened behind closed doors. But me and Big Pat McGibbon, he's a great lad. Me and him used to be teammates at Wigan, and he's trying his hardest to help a lot of people out over in this part of the world, which is it's serious. When I first moved home, and you don't realise how many suicide rates there is in Northern Ireland. It's a scary thought thinking of it.
Aye, I've seen a wee bit about it myself. I'm over in Northern Ireland a lot, so I know about it. It's one of the biggest causes of death, I think. It
is. It's crazy. It's not even young ones. It's everyone across the board. Even Sport NI are trying to do as much as they can as well. But I think there's a lot more we can do about it, because there's a lot of people out there needs it. And please don't be shy to talk out, and come out and talk about your problems.
Definitely. And much respect to you for being able to talk about it yourself, obviously. And I was talking about an interview, you could quite happily say you want to talk about it, but it was quite important that you spoke about it.
Yeah, it is. If it was 10 years ago, I never spoke about it. But I'm a completely changed man. People do ask me, what would you do if you went back? What could you change? I said I would never want to change anything in my life. It's made me the person I am. I'm a strong man. I'm a strong guy. But trust me, I'm soft. I'm soft as well. And I do want to try and help, no matter who it is. I want to help anybody I can, and even if it's only one person. And that's what it's all about. Give something back to this world.
Aye, excellent. So just a quick one. You mentioned that your time with Rangers, it wasn't the best of times, obviously. Do you have any regrets with the fact that McGregor got injured just before just after you left? Alan McGregor took an injury at Parkhead. That season, Rangers went on to Manchester, that the UEFA Cup final, and you just left the club. Does that kind of stick in your mind a wee bit?
No, if I played, they probably would never made the final. I'm really kidding. No, it doesn't stick in my head. To tell you the truth, when I went up to Rangers, I just loved Rangers. I loved them, big growing up, supporting Rangers, watching the goalie and watching Chris Woods play for Rangers back in the day. It was brilliant. And you just if you think about it too much, you probably would put you down. But Alan McGregor, when I went up there, I didn't realise how good of a keeper he was until I seen him on the training pitch, and when I watched him on a Saturday for Rangers. He was a great keeper. He still is a good keeper. And I knew it was going to be difficult to play at Rangers. I would have loved to stay on and give what I could. But of course, I've said this story many a times. I could have stayed at Manchester United for another 4 years, because they offered me a 4-year contract at United. But I'm a type of guy who wanted to play football, and I moved on from there and to play at West Ham. But it was great looking back and seeing Rangers making the finals that year, because it was a strange it was strange. I think it was the last 3 months of that season. They played nearly 3 games a week. It was crazy. It was crazy how many games they played. It was mad, so it was. But yeah, I moved to Derby, and I just had to concentrate on playing for Derby at the time. And things were pretty bad there playing for Derby at the time, because we got relegated with 12 points, which was embarrassing to have in your CV in the Premiership at the time. It was embarrassing to have. But you do get these. Football's never a high all the time. You're not ever on a high all the time.
Yeah.
So you do go through bad times. It's the way you have to come back from them. And to your question, no, I don't regret it. No.
It's just one of the things in football. But you've still got your ties with Rangers. I did see Ibrox a couple of months ago with the weekend that the game didn't take place on a Saturday, and it took place on a Sunday.
My luck, isn't it?
Aye,
that was my luck.
And I remember you came over that weekend, and I'm quite. I've seen you on it. You obviously watch the Gers TV and other Rangers platforms, and you're involved. You've been in it with the supporters clubs as well, the Barrington Rangers and things like that. So you've still got ties with the club.
Yeah, I know I was only there for 6 months, but I remember I was up there at Rangers just before. I think it was before I just joined Manchester United. I think it was when they won the league on the last day of the season at Ibrox. I remember being at the. I couldn't even get a ticket to get into the game, so I was in the supporters club beside it. I couldn't get in. So it was just but the thing for me, I've been following for a long time since I was a young lad. But it was nice to just get the opportunity to go up there and say I've been at Rangers. I know it sounds stupid but for me it's not.
Of course.
I was there for 6 months, and I really enjoyed it. I know things off the field wasn't helping my time up there, but I hope people who've seen this and who've played with me understand what I was going through at the time, and it's just nice to have that jersey up on the wall.
Of course, it was one of these things. It was only one full first team match you played, wasn't it? East Fife.
Yeah, that's right. Dunfermline, wasn't it? Yeah, Dunfermline in the cup.
Was it Dunfermline?
Wasn't it? Or was that Dunfermline anyhow?
I thought it was East Fife, but I could be wrong with that. But what I was going to say there, you could look at the argument you only played the one game. Rangers were a great team at the time. The other argument you could look at, you played for Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, arguably people would say the biggest. In my opinion, you played, even if it was only one game, you can say in your CV for the rest of your life, you played for the greatest club in the world, the famous Glasgow Rangers. You managed to wear that jersey. Oh. You must have made a lot of friends in Northern Ireland when you did sign again, people you've not heard for years.
Yeah, it was. Over here, Rangers. I've got a lot of friends who are big Rangers fans. They follow me on Facebook and stuff like that. There, and it's just a big. I remember my mate had a stag do. My mate had a stag do in Glasgow, and I was in Manchester at the time, so I flew over to Belfast to get the boat over to Stranraer. Because that was the best. That was the best fun. Was coming over on the boat with all the Rangers fans. You know what I mean? That was some fun. That was. So I flew, instead of flying from Manchester to Glasgow, I flew from Manchester to Belfast to get the boat back. Two and a half hour journey over to Scotland. But it was amazing. The fans over here. When I flew over that weekend, I saw you up in Ibrox when the game was called off. The fans are brilliant to me. I love talking to them. Sometimes I said to them, they're standing there wondering, can I take a photo? And I says, come on ahead, take a photo. No problem at all. You know what I mean? Just course, so yeah. I respect supporters because I'm a supporter myself, and that's the thing.
I mean, there's a lot of people that played. A lot of people have played with the club, and the Northern Irish kind of guys and English boys and obviously Scottish boys can adapt to the club more. But you've always been a fan, so you've always had close links with the supporters clubs, and obviously you're going to play in a charity match, so you're still very much involved as a Rangers man.
Yeah, I know a guy called Graham Smith. He's a goalkeeping coach in the youth. You know what I mean? And I was his. Me and him was a goalkeeper at Rangers at the time. He was a younger keeper than me.
I remember him.
And that's the thing. That's the thing at Rangers. Rangers are like a family club. If you do well and you work hard with the club, they'll look after you. You know what I mean? They bring ex-players back. You look at all the players that come back. They say how much they love Rangers, and they're people coming from Europe. they just love the club so much. And I went to a big Rangers thing in Belfast there 2 years in a row in Belfast, and you get all the ex-players coming over. Yeah, in Europa. Like the first year I was there, it was over 500 people. It was amazing. It was amazing how much support they have over here. They have them all over the world. Do you know what I mean? Rangers is a big club. People didn't realise until you go to Rangers to play for Rangers how big the club is. It's a massive club.
Yeah, and you're talking about back home, Northern Ireland. You obviously played your part with the national team as well. What's your memories of the 2016 Euro campaign?
Yeah, 2016 started off really well for me. Qualifiers, like I played the first 5 games, and we were doing quite well. We were flying actually. Normally, I think the campaign before we started off really badly with Michael and Neil's first campaign, but the second campaign we started off really well, and I think it was the 5th game. We were going to play Romania at home, and I had stomach problem. I was rushed in the hospital 2 days before the game, and Michael McGovern, who was there, who played for me after I was in hospital, he played the game, and we drew the game 0-0. So I knew I wasn't going to play the next game, because it happens that you can't drop a keeper who's kept a clean sheet and the team hasn't lost. So I was just preparing myself to play any time I get the chance, and I think that opportunity never came back. So I was disappointed, but it's football. As I said before, it's disappointing. You get disappointments in football. But I never thought I would have been sitting on a bench in 2016 in a major tournament in France 11 years ago. You know what I mean? If I was going through a stage I was, because I missed 6 years of my career in Northern Ireland football because of the things was happening outside football. So it was just grateful to be back involved, playing for your country, because that was my achievement when I was wanted to get when I was young. And my debut was in Bangkok at 18 years old, and I would never forget it, because it was my first game for the first senior appearance, and ended up getting 45 caps, which I enjoyed every game. But 2016, what achievement for a small country like us to get to the major final of a tournament for the Euros.
The other stars of the tournament. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
See the thing is, like we're in a group, and I think it was the top 2 go straight through, and the third player is the playoffs. So a lot of people saying, we won't even make the top 3, but we end up winning the group. Because that's how the lads were. The lads worked hard. We knew how to play together. We probably only had 30% of the possession, but we worked hard, and a lot of teams knew that, and that's how we succeed as a team. And Michael and Neil got the best of the whole squad.
Definitely. No, the other thing I was going to say to you was the other stars of the tournament, in my opinion, was the Northern Ireland fans, like the Rangers fans, absolutely superb. They kind of made the tournament, I thought.
Yeah, it was brilliant for them. Like it was a bit of a problem with that Euros, because there was a few terrorist attacks, which was it was crazy. You know what I mean? Before the tournament happened, so Northern Ireland fans still come out in the thousands. I remember playing. I was sitting on the bench, and we're playing the Germans. Even the German fans loved the Northern Ireland fans. They were singing with the Northern Ireland fans. They were just really good bunch of fans, like, and they followed us for a long time. I've been involved in Northern Ireland since I was 18 years old, and that's quite a long time. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you the age, but that was quite a long time.
Great stuff. Now, just to finish up, a lot of people would call it not everybody obviously, but a lot of people would say that the Ulsterman's dream to play for Glasgow Rangers, to play for Northern Ireland, and then to play in Northern Ireland for Linfield. You managed to be able to see you done that. But what was your time like with Linfield?
Oh, it was brilliant. It was brilliant playing for Linfield. Came back after the Euros, and real hunger to play for Linfield. David Healy was the manager. Everybody knows David Healy at Rangers. He's not a big Rangers man, and he brought me in. I knew what type of person he is. He's a winner, and Linfield was going through a bad time at the time, haven't won the league for a long time, and I wanted to come in and play for Linfield. I wanted to move home again and give something back to my country. And I got the opportunity with David Healy, and the first year was amazing. We won the league, and we won the Irish Cup, and we won the Antrim Shield as well. So 3 trophies in 1 year, which wasn't too bad. But the big trophy was winning a league, of course, because you played in England. I've won the league in England. I won the league in Greece, and now I've won the league in Northern Ireland. People say, "Oh, it's only Northern Ireland," but trust me, it's a tough league. Part-time football, but to me, you still have to win these. You still have to win the league. We're behind Crusaders for most of the season till the second last game of the season. Crusaders lost against Ballymena, and we beat Coleraine. We were 1-0 down at just in the second half. I can remember like it was yesterday. We were like 1-0 down against Coleraine in the second half, and then we just went up the pitch and scored 5 goals in 30 minutes. And then the last game of the season was against Cliftonville. We beat them 3-1, so it was really nice to win it over in Cliftonville.
Definitely good times. One of the questions I got, Gary Lanigan asked me a question regarding David Healy, his management skills with Linfield and the style of football he's played. Do you think that he could maybe go to a higher level, maybe with the Rangers squad at one point, maybe management, or become a Rangers manager?
You in football, you never know, because 15 years ago, I never thought David Healy be a manager. You know what I mean? That's the truth. I never thought he'd be a manager. There's a lot of players I've played with. I never thought they would turn out to be a coaching or a management. But Healy's done wonders at Linfield. He's done a lot of good things at Linfield. And trust me, it's a tough job being a manager at Linfield. It is a tough job being a manager at Linfield. And the way he's brought himself about as a young manager, he's got a bright future ahead of him. Trust me, he's got a really, really bright future ahead of him, especially. He's only been part-time over here at Linfield, but Michael O'Neill, don't forget when Michael O'Neill started off. He started off in Shamrock Rovers, and then he took the Northern Ireland job off, and he ended up going to the Euros of Northern Ireland. So it's amazing if you can do a lot of work, if you can work hard as a manager or a coach, like what David Healy does. Nothing surprises me in football. It'd be great to see him at Glasgow Rangers in 10 years from now.
Yeah, and just a quick one for you. Over the last 10 years, at least anyway, but in the history that's happened before, that Northern Irishmen have been successful managers and at the highest level. What do you think the reason for that is?
I have no idea. No idea.
Yeah. I've always wondered, there's always a good Northern Irish manager out there, always.
People ask me, would you become a manager? But I said I have to really calm down a little bit. If you ever watch me play, I have to calm down a bit, trust me. But football has changed so much, so there's a lot of you couldn't do when I was playing. Like you have managers like Bruce Rioch, who used to go crazy in the change rooms at half time. Football's not like that anymore. You have to talk to players. It's man management, and that's what it's all about now. But I don't know why not. You have Michael Lees went on now to Stoke City. He's did well since he's moved into Stoke City. He's done on getting them out of the relegation zone. But you have Steve Robertson, even at who's at Motherwell, who's doing a great job at Motherwell. He's did really well. Tommy Wright, St Johnson, who's won a trophy at St Johnson in the Scottish football, and Grant McCann. And you've got the likes of Laurie Sanchez, who used to play for Northern Ireland many years ago, who came in and beat England and beat Spain as a manager. So I don't know what it is. It's probably just because we give 100%. We're fighters and we want to fight and we want to win. And I think that's the main thing. As even a footballer, as a young person, you want to win games. And I think that's the main thing from Northern Ireland managers and coaches alike.
No, fantastic. That's about everything. I think that's everything I've really got to ask you. The questions were sent in for a few different people and myself. Thank you very much for doing the interview. And wish you all the best.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Your academy and what you're doing in the future with the goalkeeping coaching and things like that. And as I said to you, the next time I'm in Northern Ireland, I'll go for a game, one of the internationals, so I'll maybe catch up with you.
That's brilliant. Hey, it's great to have. Thanks for having me on. It was great to talk to you.
And just a quick one, just a wee message to the Rangers supporters watching this show just now. For yourself.
Yeah, I just no matter what happens at the end of the season, stay behind the players and the staff for next season. It's a big year next season. We have to work harder next season, and the fans will always be behind the players, and that's what football's all about. Stick behind the players and the club. Take care and look after yourself through this. I'll be back soon, hopefully. Once all this coronavirus is hopefully finished, and I just wish everybody to stay safe and take care, because it's one of those occasions you have to just be careful this day and age. But I'll definitely be back in Glasgow to watch the mighty Rangers again.
Brilliant. Take care. Thank you very much.
All the best. All the best. Bye bye.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.